Anastasia, and today I'm going to show you how to print a large format PDF pattern on your home printer. There's two different ways we can print this out, and I'm going to show you how to do both ways. I'm also going to show you how to cut it out and tape it together. So I'm starting to release a bunch of digital patterns, and they're all going to be big PDF formats for large format printing. So I want to show you how to print them out properly. And the links for everything will be down below. So check out my pattern collection. I've also got really great news. You can now take virtual sewing classes with me. So you can be anywhere in the world and I can help you with your sewing project. Check out the link for that down below. So just expand the information button down below to get all the links. If you're not already a subscriber to Sew Anastasia, make sure you go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell. So the first thing you need to do is download your PDF pattern. Go ahead, save it to your desktop or a folder where it's really easy to find. So let's go ahead and open up your PDF pattern. So we're gonna go ahead and find your pattern on the computer. Go ahead and double click on it. So make sure you have Acrobat Reader downloaded. There's a free version of this. Once you have your PDF pattern open in Acrobat, go ahead and select File and Print. Now you're gonna notice a lot of different options on here. You wanna go to Page Sizing and Handling, and you wanna click Poster. And now below it, it says Tile Scale 100%. So you want 100%. Your overlap is fine at 0.005 inches. So you have a choice here to either do cut marks or no cut marks. So we're gonna print out both ways so I can show you the difference. The first one I'm gonna do is going to be cut marks. You'll notice when we click cut marks that you have 6 pieces of paper, and when you unclick cut marks, you only have 4 pieces of paper. So wherever you see these dashed lines here, this is indicating a piece of printer paper. So this is where we're gonna have to tape these together. So when we hit cut marks, you'll notice it turns into 6 pieces of paper. So you want to print, make sure it's 100% scale. If you change your scale to 50, you'll notice that it'll get smaller and it's not gonna be the right size. So make sure it's set at 100. Now what you wanna do is go ahead and hit print and print. Now once they're printed, we're gonna go ahead and cut the paper and tape them together. Okay, so I've got my pattern printed out and I've laid it out so it looks exactly like the preview screen on my print screen before I printed. So you'll notice that we have all of our cut marks on the corners of all of the papers on all 4 sides. So now I'm going to show you how to cut those and tape them together. So now grab your ruler and your rotary cutter and let's cut it up. So you'll notice these marks at the end of the paper. So I want to go ahead and line up my ruler with these 90-degree angles. So make sure it matches on both ends. And then once we have it matched on both ends, you can take your rotary cutter and run it down the ruler. Now make sure you're using a quilting ruler so it's nice and thick. So now you'll notice we have a nice clean edge here and our lines for the pattern are coming directly to that edge. So that means if we grab our other piece of paper, we'll be able to line this up perfectly because we can line up the other cut marks with it. Now once you have your cut marks lined up, go ahead and grab your tape and let's tape these pieces of paper together. Now that I have it lined up perfectly, I want to go ahead and tape it. And I want to tape it where I'm going to be cutting the pattern out so that way my pieces of paper don't fall apart. So I've also got a line down here. I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of tape down here as well. Now we can move on to the next side. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next set of cut marks and cut them. So let's go ahead and line up these 90-degree angles perfectly because we want a perfect pattern. And now let's go ahead and take our rotary cutter and cut that extra off. And now we can take our other part of the pattern that we need to line up and we can go ahead and line up those cut marks. And then we can go ahead and tape it down. Look how nice that lines up. Perfect. So I have 3 more pieces of paper to cut and line up. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those and tape them and finish this pattern up. So we have all 6 pieces taped together and my pattern is ready to get cut out in the proper size. So take a look. It's looking great, it lines up great. I'm super excited that I can print out patterns at home. So you can take any large format PDF pattern and go ahead and print it on your home printer with these simple instructions. And if it ever gets a little confusing, you can always reference the image in your print preview to see exactly where your pieces of paper go to line them up. So we finished the first example, which was the one with cut marks. So now we're gonna move on to the one without cut marks, which is only 4 pieces of paper for this particular pattern. So let's go ahead and go to our print preview page and let's go ahead and unclick cut marks. So you'll notice when we unclick the cut marks that it goes down to 4 pieces of paper. Remember where these little hash marks are, almost like these little stitching lines? These are the divisions for the pieces of paper. So we've got 4 pieces of paper here. So now we just want to make sure that we're on 100% scale. Now let's go ahead and hit print and check it out. So I printed out my pattern that doesn't have the cut marks on it. You'll notice it's only 4 sheets of paper instead of 6. But it's a little trickier because I don't have those cut marks. So I printed out my pattern that doesn't have the cut marks on it. You'll notice it's only 4 sheets of paper instead of 6. But it's a little trickier because I don't have those cut marks. So I totally prefer and recommend using the cut marks when you're cutting out so things end up super precise. But I like to give you options. So this is another option and will help save paper. So now we need to precisely line up our ruler and go ahead and cut off the extra paper and tape them together. So I've got my pattern laid out, how I need to tape it together. I just need to get rid of some of this extra paper on the outside so that way they can line up perfectly. So let's go ahead and take our ruler and line it up with the edge of these black lines. And then once you have it lined up, you can go ahead and cut off the extra. And now we can go ahead and take this pattern piece and place it on top of this one. We just have to carefully line it up perfectly. So let's go ahead and tape down where we're going to be cutting. You don't necessarily need to tape in here because it's blank, but definitely where you're going to be cutting. So let's go ahead and do this to the rest of the pieces. Now we should be able to lay this one right under here. So this is a little trickier without those cut marks, so I definitely suggest using the cut mark method. Again, make sure you're taping where your pattern is overlapping. Okay, and now we have one more piece to go ahead and cut here. So on this one, I'm gonna cut this edge and this edge so I can just butt it up right into here. Voila! Okay, so we have our pattern taped together that did not have the cut marks on it. A little trickier, but you know what? It still worked. Check it out. So we've got our bralette pattern here that I printed today, and now it's ready to be cut out. But you can use this method for printing any PDF pattern, no matter how many pieces it has and how big it is or how small it is. So go ahead and give this method a try and let me know what you think of it and leave it in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching Sew Anastasia today. I hope you had fun printing PDF patterns with me. Make sure you check out all of my PDF patterns that I've designed. The link for that is going to be down below, or you can go to AnastasiaChatzka.com and go ahead and click on digital downloads. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Sew Anastasia and Anastasia Chatzka. And don't forget, I'm doing a virtual sewing lesson so I can help you with any of your projects no matter where you're at in the world. Or if you're in Chicago, we can do a one-on-one private lesson, or depending on what the heck's going on in the world, you might be able to come in and take an actual group class with me. So check out all that information down below. And if you want to learn how to help support Sew Anastasia, you can hop on over to Patreon and check out all the awesome ways you can help us grow. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up or an applause. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell because so many awesome videos and I know you don't want to miss them. Thanks so much for watching today. Bye!